a really good match to watch.
Yeah, and Tayman, he's been cutting down time off of his PB. He posted some of his recent races he was practicing yesterday. I mean, mostly sub 20s. So, and it looks like, are we beginning?
We are underway.
Yes. Okay. So, looks like yep. Gary 1's popping up right now, and so who was it that said yesterday that they always pick? Oh no, that was on hard difficulty, very hard. We got Krabby on both sides. So that's why I was a little bit confused. I was like, wait, they're supposed to all go to Nidoran, but looks like, yeah, it looks like both players are going to be starting off with a relatively high chain.
And Tayman right away with the strats, the double 4 easily taking out Gary 1 while Cards is kind of left behind. So Tayman's going to take a very brief lead here. Let's see if he can keep that going.
Let's see how he starts up with Brock. I realized I was pausing the wrong stream for a second there, and it looks like we're gonna be starting off with a he fixes the 7 into a 4, which is very good. He goes 4-4 into 6. Interesting choice here is gonna go up to a 5 chain. It looks like. And
yeah, he actually missed the second 4. He was going for a 4, and then he accidentally had some extra blocks there, making it a 6. So.
Yeah, I guess I miscounted because I thought it was going to be 2 4s, but it looks like it might be enough. Brock doesn't really have much to clear with here, and it does work. But Cards of the Heart almost simultaneously clears his Brock a little bit faster as well. 10 seconds on each side, going back and forth. Round 3 is going to be starting almost exactly the same time.
Yeah, so it looks like Cards has a slight lead here, but just oh so slight.
Yeah, it's almost, you know, unnoticeable on my side. You know, like this kind of lead can go back and forth multiple times, as we saw in recent games, where a person, you know, a couple seconds here and there couldn't really affect much. But this 14-second Misty from Cards is a really good pickup for him. But 16 seconds on Tayman as well. Tayman's killing it, keeping up with the best.
Absolutely. And what you're seeing him do here is the classic V-hard double 4 into a chain strategy that tends to be the most consistent in killing opponents. We'll see it a lot during this run. The goal is, as you saw on both screens there, to try and get that 4 combo block dropping as low as you possibly can.
Yeah, it looks like Tayman, he kind of messed up his chain real quick there, and he is going to reset after that. He didn't top off Surge, and he tried to finish up with another chain on top of that. Meanwhile, Cards, he went for something. It looked like a 4-6-4 on his side, and that did top off Surge. So now we're going to get our first like real legitimate lead over the series so far.
Yeah, we're seeing Cards here. He actually counted exactly how big of a chain he needed there. He saw Erica had a really tall stack and ended his chain at a 4, which is pretty small, but counting correctly like he did, he was able to top her off and get a really quick kill there.
Yeah, that's that next level awareness. That's something that comes from a lot of practice, being able to take a quick glance and properly read the situation. Something I'm not sure Tayman, I mean, he is really good, but he hasn't been playing for that long. Maybe he does not have the experience to do that as well as Cards does.
I am seeing Tayman do some very skillful moves, though. He's able to swap a block as it's landing and ended up getting a chain out of it. So those are strats that are actually very tricky to pull off. So it's you can tell he's certainly trying new things.
Oh man, he just got played really hard by Surge. He was playing with a really low stack, hoping for Surge not to go to that second tier, but Surge went up there and he did get that second tier clear. After playing around with it earlier too, Surge kind of played around with it, then ended up not doing it, then came back and decided to do it. So gave Tayman the run around there and wasted a little bit more of his time.
Yeah, and unfortunately we kind of see that happening with Cards' side there. Cards actually only ended up sending a 3 chain, which was not nearly enough, and Cards is going to take his first reset of the run.
Yeah, and that was like an instant reset. I mean, he was super ready for it. He's not trying to play around, you know, he's not trying to force the issue. He's super confident in his ability to quick kill. That's what Yume told me is the defining characteristic. Whether or not you should reset is if you're confident you can get the quick kill on the next try.
Absolutely.
we'll see if Cards can pull it off this time. He is going to cut his chain short. It doesn't look like he topped off though, but the combos do fall down a little bit after that, and he might be able to get it now.
Oh, Sabrina was in stack lowering mode there and couldn't do anything. Ended up taking that in 24 seconds at the same time as Tayman finishing off at Erica in 18.
Yeah.
So we're still seeing some quick kills here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been looking at Cards for the past 24 seconds, and in that time, Tayman reset his surge, beat the surge, and then beat the Erica as well. So Tayman's trying to keep himself in this race right now. He's only 2 stages behind, almost exactly.
Tayman doing some pretty good looking chains here. He's getting the double 4.
Yep, and then he's following up with combos. Sorry about that. He's following up with some combos, and he gets the quick kill, and so does Cards, though. So both of them again neck and neck, but Tayman just a little bit behind.
These rounds are impressively quick. Typically in V-Hard, getting under a 20-second round is any cause for celebration at that point, because you know you're on good pace. You're gonna continue to get these good kills. We've been seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, absolutely. In my PB, I got a lot of those 20 seconds, and even though I had, I think, 2-minute fights later in the game, I still got about 15 minutes, 11 seconds or something like that. So that's how I know that 20-second paces are really good. But looking over at Cards' screen for a second, Tracy, I mean, he had his stack way down low. Cards did manage to top it off, but then Tracy used his only clear. And now there's only a 1-stage difference between the two players we have right now. So Tayman is catching up.
I mean, it's anyone's game at this point. It's truly hard to call it this early in the race. It's once both players are past Tracy, we'll definitely see some equalizing happen.
Absolutely, and as you said earlier, the harder difficulties are definitely more volatile. Cards does manage to top off Tracy here, and Tracy, just one click away from a clear, does not get the clear in the end.
Yeah, unfortunately, Blaine is giving him the runaround, but it was just enough. So we're still that 1 stage behind.
1 and change. And yeah, as a FFR Pro says in the chat, Trollsy almost trolled Cards there. It was just so close to it. And that's kind of like the paper-thin margins that happen in this game, especially in races, especially in this the higher difficulties, V hard, S hard. You know, there's paper thin margins between getting trolled for another minute or two or you know, getting that quick kill. So it's all, as you said, it's anyone's game, and we actually see another reset from Cards here.
I did notice, I was watching Cards play, he accidentally sent a I believe it was a 5-over, and then finished with an 8 chain. But Rocket was very easily able to get that clear there. So instead of waiting for them to lose their blocks and try and get a force kill, which usually doesn't happen later in the game, they're going to start getting garbage chains. You just figure it'd be a lot easier to go ahead and just kill them or reset his run and try and kill him again, and it worked out for him in that case.
And Tayman also getting trolled a little bit harder now that the game is getting into the later stages as well. He got trolled by Troll, so he had to reset there, and that he's starting to lose the pace that he was gaining on Cards. Although now that as I say that, he is moving up to stage 10, still that 1 stage difference. And
I gotta say, I'm very impressed that he's holding his own like he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Very consistent play from him out right now. I mean, both players getting trolled a little bit here and there, but it's not due to a great amount of mistakes or anything. It's just the nature of the game at this point, I feel.
Right. A lot of the mistakes come from maybe not doing the double 4, maybe not sending enough garbage, but those are common mistakes that anyone's going to make no matter how good you are.
And we see that that crazy thing that happens sometimes when for some reason the garbage gets delayed while going onto the other side, where the 2 4s drop before the chain drops. That's what just happened to Tay, and Tay looks like he's electing to play it out at Rocket, hoping to kill him off, but he's not topped off Rocket yet. So, oh, there we go. That's the reset right there. Losing a little bit of time there. I feel like he could. It would be more typical of Tayman to reset right then and there, but he decided to go for it. Same time, looks like Cards might be able to pull off this quick kill on Richie, sorry. And no, it doesn't happen. The clear does get down there, and but Richie is kind of low on the bottom, but he does have clears on the second tier, so that's going to be the dangerous point here. But no,
He's not going for him. He decided to stay on the first tier and ended up dying because of it.
yeah, going for horizontal combos when you have 3 rows, generally not a good idea, just for anyone who's just starting out and watching. But it's obviously fantastic if you're speedrunning and the opponent does it. But
Oh, absolutely.
so this lead is starting to grow in Cards fashion. It looks like he's going to finish strong here. Well, we don't know for sure yet, but these later stages, they're kind of going his way now.
Well,
10, 17, 18, 19, 20.
I got a delay 4 seconds, so.
Wait, I have to delay something? No?
I'm delaying.
Oh. Oh, I was behind, my bad. I think that might explain a lot of the things I was saying then. Sorry about that, but if you guys are caught up with me or
Yep, I'm
fall
caught
back
up.
to my level now, so if we look at Tayman just beat Rocket, and Cards is actually struggling a little bit on the Lorelei. Lorelei has a really tall stack here. There's definitely a potential for her to keep clearing here. It's gonna be interesting to see if he elects to yep, there we go. There's the reset. As soon as that clear happened, he reset right away.
Yep, right away. And he's been very consistent in that. As soon as he realizes he's not getting the quick kill, he doesn't reset right away. He tends to let it play out just a little bit, and then as soon as he sees the opponent get a clear, that's when he decides, no, I'll just go for the quick kill next time.
And it's having that confidence. I mean, it comes from a seasoned veteran, but Tayman is also very reset heavy in his games. I mean, comparing to, for example, my match against Flagglestan the other day, I think both of us maybe reset like a handful of times over the course of the entire best of 3, but these guys have already set multiple times throughout this one race. I mean, looking at their times, it's definitely paying off for both of them.
And it's hard to get into that mindset of resetting, because generally you're thinking to yourself, oh, I might waste time doing that, and or something. But with a quick kill that you can get in under 20 seconds instead of waiting for 3 minutes for them to get a force kill, it pays off quite a bit if you're able to consistently get that quick kill.
Yeah, and it's also kind of a gamble too. You know that most likely eventually you're gonna beat this AI, but the question is, how much time are you willing to gamble to do so?
Right.
And gambling on your ability to quick kill on your first retry is another gamble as well. So if you're looking for the best possible times, you have to be willing to take risks. And we did just see Cards reset on Bruno. So look, oh, Bruno just got rid of his only clear, it looks like. So I think that Bruno is about to die.
Yep, and that's a force kill on Bruno.
Bruno kind of derped around there, didn't make anything happen for himself, and looks like this is really the final lap for Cards right here, entering the Gary Mewtwo. And meanwhile, Tayman is approaching Rich. He's still doing a decent pace here, and if you look at his I think that that's his average on the left, on the right side in his split. So he's doing well, a lot better than his average. So he's definitely not slouching going into this.
No, I'll tell you now, he's probably gonna beat my time that I had going on this pace.
Yeah, it looks like the stack was really high, but the clear was there on Richie, and he does get another clear there. It's gonna be a little bit brutal for him. Still a lot of blocks there.
He's got a couple of chains lined up there. Oh, and he managed to get that air clear there. So
yeah, I was eyeing it before it fell down. Like my instincts kind of kicked in. Like I thought about this is what I would do, and then I was praying that the computer doesn't do it. But and we actually see Cards he reset on Gary. So Tayman getting a little bit of breath here, a little bit more of a chance to get back into the game.
Right, and we're seeing Tayman. It looks like he's making a few more mistakes than before. He might be getting a little flustered because of the opponents trolling him a little bit, which can happen in these games.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's uncertain whether or not he's watching the stream as well. I've kind of been debating with myself whether or not I want to watch my opponents play or not, because it could affect your choices on whether or not you want to reset, whether or not you want to swag, but. If he's looking at Cards' pace right now, I can see how it could be very frustrating to see that also.
Right, and we see Cards there wrapping up on Gary too. So now he's heading into Mewtwo, which is the only fight in this entire run that you can't do reset strats on. So he's gotta get it on his first try, or he's in for a ride.
And we got the 4 into the 4, very consistent. We got the 4-4-5 there. It's gonna be interesting to see where that 5 lands. It looks like it is gonna.
It looks like it's gonna land low.
And wow,
That is it.
That is a textbook quick kill on Mewtwo right there. Very nicely done by Cards. And I mean Tayman as well. Tayman was playing very well.
Yeah, Tayman's gonna move into Lorelei here.
Are you sure? Because it looks like he is eyeing the race channel or something like that. He doesn't look like he's might not do it, but nope, he's going start. He's gonna finish it out. I think get a little bit more practice before the next round.
All right, GG to Cards. A sub 15 run is nothing to sneeze at. That's a very good time.
Absolutely, that's definitely top 10 on the leaderboard. I mean, maybe that doesn't mean as much to Cards, but it's an achievement for anybody. And it looks like Tayman is kind of messing up a little bit here. He had a lot of opportunities to do something with those blocks that he had remaining, but he's going to end up making a lot of threes that didn't really go anywhere, and now he's going to end up with a relatively low stack and without topping off Lorelei, so he's going to have a mountain to climb to kill her unless he resets soon.
Yeah, toward the end of the game, if your ability to react on the fly is not as where it should be, then you might be in for a lot of resets.
Yeah, we see our first reset right here. And Tayman, I think these are some of the first red splits that we've seen all run. He's definitely what you said earlier. There might be some nerves going on here. Although he has been very consistent throughout tournaments so far, so maybe it's the magnitude of his opponent in this case. You know, the infamous Cards.
Yeah, Cards is definitely a force in this game. So I'm sure anyone racing against him has a bit of nerves and a bit of a slight mental block to it.
Oh wow! And Laurel, I guess the airwalk on the block there. It was at the looked like one of the last possible frames where she could have airwalked over that combo to get that clear. I thought it was going to be a split-second decision between it being a quick kill or a clear, and she ended up getting the clear, and he's going to be forced to reset one more time on Lorelei here. And honestly, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, honestly, I don't blame him at this point in time. I feel like this might be the best way to use your time. I mean, we have Cards over there. He's sitting on his laurels, you know what I mean, just won the next match. And meanwhile, Tay gets, you know, however many resets he needs to really get this his strats down for the next run, you know? Like, this is probably some of the best practice you're going to get.
Absolutely, yeah. If you're gonna continue on and you're in a best of 3, you lost your first one and you still have some time to finish it, you might as well finish it. Really figure out where your improvement needs to be, where your mistakes are. Kind of take this opportunity to mess around a little bit with other strats, maybe get a better result in the next round.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'm definitely much more of the tilting type where I just like forfeit immediately half the time, where I try to swag my way out of it or something like that, you know, like so I don't completely make a fool of myself. But this is kind of what I was thinking about earlier, the Tayman attitude to approaching this game, not only the dedication and the practice motive, but also the level-headedness to just keep going with the run, see what else you can do, see what options are out there, as you said. So it's gonna be interesting to see how well he does with these last 3 stages now.
Yeah, one of the things in this game, and Cards preaches this all the time, you need your 3 C's. You need your chains, your combos, and your other C, which I can't remember. He actually says timing, but he used a different word. So you need your chains. You need an adequate amount of chains to top them off. You need your combos. So you need to mix in combos to with your chain, and you also need to time it.
Oh no, Tayman went way too deep on that one, didn't get the clear, and ended up actually losing to Bruno, and that's not a good look for him. CCT says, "Do not put me on pizza. Combos, chains, and timing." I was racking my brain for that third C word because you mentioned, I'm like, if cards said it, it must exist. You know what I mean? So I was trying to think what word could start with C that could do with time. I guess I was thinking
Right.
like chronology, chronologically comboing. I don't know.
I've heard it referred to as the three C's, but for the sake of it, let's just pretend I'm an idiot and we'll say combos, chains, and timing.
Yeah,
Um,
and
one of the
speaking of,
biggest things, one of the hardest things to get into is timing. However, if you're
absolutely.
if you're not prepared on the timing, you're gonna have a hard time. And we see Cards has basically mastered the timing of this game, when to drop, when to look over.
Yeah, I mean, you blew my mind when you pointed out that he limited his chain based on the height of the stack on the left. For me, I always, well, my thought was that I would have to chain based on how many chains they do. Like, I try to stop one chain before they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it just blew me away that it was that you mentioned that it was looking at the pillar on the side that Cards was doing, and I was like,
Yep.
wow, like that makes so much sense, you know?
And here we see Tayman moving into Mewtwo. He had a
Yeah, that
really nice quick kill on Gary there.
Yeah, and his kill on Bruno was really good too as well. I mean, after a couple of resets and well, after the death at least. But the quick kill was nice, and I feel like he might be learning a few things about how he can approach this in the next run.
Now, see there, what we saw with Tayman with a 17, which was beautiful. With Tayman there,
Yeah.
he did exactly what we were just saying. He timed it perfectly. He ended up sending a shorter than average chain there, as Mewtwo, which out of character for him, he usually sends a lot of stuff. He actually didn't send a whole lot there. Tayman recognized that, stopped his chain, and was able to get that quick kill.
Yeah, that's very true. I make the mistake when the opponent doesn't send enough, I'm like, okay, I just have to wait until they start chaining the next chain. So, you know, like I start, you know, racking mine up to like 14, 15, waiting for their second chain to finish. But he definitely went for it when he's found the opportunity, and that worked out for him. And it is his gold split. That was his best Mewtwo, and actually, I think that was the same amount of time that Cards spent on Mewtwo as well, 17 seconds. So that was a Cards of the Heart stamp of approval Mewtwo.
Absolutely, yeah. 17, that's the time you want on any stage, but especially on Mewtwo, because you can't reset on Mewtwo. So
Yeah. So it looks like both players are gonna be. Ooh, yeah, he's gonna manually reset the virtual console, and yeah, they both need the classic controller.
oh yeah, you need to reset and get a better RNG seed.
I'm sure Cars probably has tinkered in the hardware or something at this point. He probably has an TAS right now playing for him.
Right.
He's like, how much time do I need? A sub 15 should be enough to win this. Program in a couple mistakes, you know.
All right, Shane. So judging by Tayman's last match, what do you think he needs to do in order to pull off a win here?
Well, his early game for the most part was really good. He did stumble a little bit on, I believe it was Surge, but other than that, he was very consistent. Going into the later stages, though, I definitely noticed that he was dropping his chain more. I think we kind of wrote it off as nerfs, because honestly, your opening chain, he was messing up his opening chain and not messing up. Like, it wasn't a strategic fault; it was a mechanical fault almost. So I'm not sure if his actual like game sense or anything, it needs to be vastly changed. I feel like he just needs to kind of hunker down, you know, breathe, and make sure he gets that 4 into that chain.
I definitely agree with everything there. He just a little bit more consistency, and we're gonna see him vastly improve. I think he knows that, and I think he's gonna work on that before we know it.
Yeah, and although now that I mentioned that, I already see a slight mistake from his side. He instead of raising the stack first, he made a 3 combo, and then he raised the stack a little bit, and then he made his 4 combo. It seemed like a little bit of a waste of time. You know, I mean, he did end up beating Gary before Cards of the Heart, but that's the kind of stuff that doesn't really fly against the higher level computers. You almost instantly want to raise your stack. You want to start doing your chain as soon as possible, whereas he kind of slow rolled on it.
And that's kind of a preference thing. I've seen some top level players actually elect to just use the blocks that are on their screen. And mostly just because raising your stack takes just a little bit of time. So it's basically however you feel about your board that you're looking at, or just in general, if you feel like you're going to have enough to do it. And as we saw from Cards right there, he raised his maybe 3 rows and ended up getting a 12 because he ended his chain pretty early.
Yeah, it's definitely not as necessary at these lower levels to raise it all the way to the top, for example. But I mean, it's the fact that he made a 3 combo and then raised and then made another combo. And in this case, he had to reset on Brock because he made a similar mistake at the beginning. He kind of just, I think it was like a 4 into a nothing there, or something along those lines. So, oh, and there we go again, another slight mistake there. He was going for the fire 4s, but ended up having to do the
save
raise.
though.
Yeah, it was a slick save, and he's gonna keep the chain going a little bit here.
Brock has a very high stack, but he had a chain at the very top there.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate for Tayman there. And in the meantime, though, Cards has already beaten Misty, and he's going on to Lieutenant Surge here. And yeah, he follows up. He does a lot of combos in the middle of his chain, and honestly, like, I guess I'm just not good enough to strategically understand how he does it so that the 4 is always on the bottom. I think it's because he puts a 3 in between the 2 4s and then adds more combos in the chain later. That's why the combos don't end up on the bottom of the block, because I feel like any combo that you do consecutively after the first 4s is going to end up on the bottom of the stack. But he does like 4 4 3 and then combo like 4 5 6 whatever, and that's what's really giving him a lot of vertical volume in these early stages so far.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Any chain or any combo that you make that goes into a chain, those combos are going to end up on the bottom of the stack. If you do a 3 first and then you do a combo later on, then your combo garbage is going to end up on top of your garbage block, your chain garbage block.
Yeah, and it's amazing that Cards has that level of control over the game and when he wants to combo and seeing those combos and stuff. His vision is really great right now. And in the meantime, Tayman got a little bit lucky there on Surge. Oh no, I'm sorry. Did he skip? Yeah, I think he must have time skipped. I looked over onto the splits for a second to see who he was on. I thought for a second that he was gonna split, but that, you know what? Long story short, he got a little bit lucky there. He did make a lot of mistakes again, and I'm starting to think that he's flustered. There goes another 3, and it's gonna be a 4 into a 6 here, and he's gonna try. Oh, that was very nice, swagger.
That was a slick move right there.
Yeah, trying to extend it a little bit after that mistake, and yeah, he's making mistakes here and there. I've heard him complaining about his controller recently, and it does seem to me like he's missing some of those easy clicks. But he's also getting a lot of the hard ones, so it might be just inconsistency in the hardware.
Yeah, and I don't mean to take anything away from Tayman here, but Cards is actually on fantastic pace going into Sabrina here. He's on his splits that he's got up on his screen. He's 47 seconds ahead, which this is the world record holder, so that kind of lead is really something.
Well, to be 100% fair, I think it says his Mewtwo is 1727, so I don't know whose splits he's using for that, because I imagine that. But it's definitely
average.
Oh, those are average. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Either way, this is still incredible pace, and now he's down to 1:21 below average, which is absolutely nuts. And I mean, it looks like he's just gonna power through this right now. Let's take a look at how he does that. It looks like he messed up the 4 into 3. He's gonna follow up with a 6 though.
We're gonna see it. Oh no! It was so close.
Yeah, like if the timer must have been running out, and we see that Blaine also ends up getting the clear on the big stack as well. And I feel like this is the part of the game where the extra combos that Chain throws actually serve to hurt him a little bit. Not in this case in particular, because Blaine did kind of mess up there. But if you notice, after he cleared, you saw that he still had one row of chain block, and then on top of that, he had a bunch of loose blocks. He had 3 rows of loose blocks. So, in my opinion, that kind of makes it a lot easier for the computer to go into the second tier and clear, or makes it a lot easier for the computer after they clear that chain block to have a lot of volume, a lot of options to make combos and extend that timer.
It is a double-edged sword for sure. You want to you want to get as much volume vertically as possible in a short amount of time, and the easiest way to do that is through combos. However, if they manage to get that clear, and those combo blocks end up getting cleared, now the opponent has a very good opportunity to do those second, third tier strats.
And I think that's part of the reason why both of these players are so reset heavy, is because they recognize this, and they know that they as soon as the clear on the chain happens, they kind of set themselves up for not failure, but they know that it might be a long road ahead of them, so they would rather just start over from scratch.
Right.
And meanwhile, Tayman, he's still not that far behind. I mean, it's only that same two-stage deficit that he had from the last game, and around the same place as well. So he's definitely not out of it. It looks like he's been playing a little bit more consistently in the past few rounds.
Yeah, Tayman's definitely catching up just a bit. Oh, and Tracy looking like he's going to troll a little bit here.
Oh, nope.
And another airwalk chain there, or airwalk garbage clear.
And we see on Cards of the Heart side, he's still on Trace. Yeah, he's on Tracy, and he's looks like he's committing to this one. He feels good about it. Probably thinks that he dropped enough garbage, but yeah, there it goes. There's that extra garbage going on top of that. I do see a decent purple clear up there. I wonder if Tracy's gonna go for it, and there it is. And as soon as Card sees it, instant reset.
Yep. There comes a point when, the AI is gonna continue to troll me. The AI is gonna get this infinite garbage chain going on, and what, at that point, just done, and we'll start over.
Yeah, and I loved seeing this from this perspective, looking at Cards playing. It feels like he almost has like yeah, Tayman's on Tracy now too as well. Tayman definitely catching up. Very strong performance here. But what I want to say is it feels like there's like some sort of trigger combo that like Cards, like, he's like, okay, if Tracy makes these blues, I'm resetting instantly. And speaking of resetting instantly, we see them start Tracy at practically the same time. I think Tayman is actually maybe like a second ahead, a split second ahead right now.
And once again, Tracy is the great equalizer of this run, trolling everybody, and now they are basically tied in this run after having such a substantial lead.
And we see an uncharacteristic mistake, it looks like, from Cards. It's definitely a very small stack from him, but the follow-up chain does arrive, and ooh, Tracy does kill himself on Cards' side, but looks like Tayman is starting the roller coaster of Tracy on his side now.
Yeah.
I mean, that first chain from both of them was kind of underwhelming, both Cards and Tayman. I think maybe Cards misread the situation, because Tracy did drop a lot of block on him, but Cards followed it up with a lot of mass as well, so it ended up working out for him.
Definitely, and we see Cards here still just consistently setting this up. A lot of times, your setup could be 100% perfect, but if the AI is going to troll you, they're going to troll you. There's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, and it looks like Cards is going for that extra long chain now because he might have missed his opportunity on that first chain. He's waiting for Team Rocket to start their next chain. That's exactly what they do. He finishes his chain, and there is a tall stack on the left side. Doesn't look like there's... Ooh, there's that green clear. They skipped the combo on the bottom. Yeah. They committed to that chain clear, and that's really unfortunate for Cards. It's very rare that happens.
And Tayman, unfortunately, had a really good setup on Tracy there, but he just happened to need maybe one or two more lines to go, and once he was behind, Tracy was capitalizing on that and ended up taking him for a ride there, so he's going to reset again.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Cards is actually really committing to this Team Rocket, and I'm not sure I agree with his decision right now. Looking at their side of the board, they have quite a lot of room to work with. They're even double chaining their defense here, and I don't see a real end in sight for them. I feel like Cards kind of just gave up on quick strats for now. And whoa. If they get this clear, Wow. Yeah, I was about to say, if they get this clear, you're going to reset that.
No, it looked good, but the Team Rocket, unfortunately, with all those changes they were doing, they were going to have a lot of stop time going into that. But Tayman is also on Team Rocket here.
Yeah, we're neck and neck again, as KSS Brawl says. Absolutely, really, really tight going into this. Tayman, major props to Tayman for keeping his head cool and making it all the way back here. And yeah, go ahead.
Oh, wow. It looks like we're going to see our first lead change as Tayman is the first one going into Giovanni here.
Yeah, and Rocket really trolled Cards now. They tried to do strats on him. They dropped a lot of combos on the bottom of their chain and made it a lot harder for him to clear. And now, if you look at Rocket, they still have a lot of blocks on their side, pretty tall stack, and it looks like they have some easy clears there as well. So, looks like Cards of the Heart has to buckle up for some more Team Rocket tomfoolery.
Oh, Tayman there. Unfortunately, I saw what he was trying to do, and unfortunately, he didn't have the blocks in place for it. He's going to do a big chain here to try and catch up, but Giovanni might have him put away here.
Yeah, but on the other hand, if you look at his setup right now, unlike Cards, who ends up having a lot of rows of combo garbage on top, there's just not as much on Tayman's side, so that might work a little bit in his favor here, but I think that if he gets to that top set of chains, Tayman's gonna. Yep, there we go.
Yeah,
Tayman's gonna think about resetting. Yep. It's like I'm reading their minds from a distance.
Right.
You know, it's like he's talking in my ear and telling me what he's about to do.
Right. I mean, you kind of recognize exactly what you would do in that scenario, and oftentimes it really is the best decision. And so you can totally understand where these players are coming from when they make the decision to reset or to keep the run. And Cards there finally finishing Rocket as he goes into Giovanni.
Yeah, Cards, he made a pretty swag workaround. He made a 5 combo that like a 5 combo in a button shape, like, you know, like a cross. And he managed to make a chain working around that irregular shape. And he was going to make another swag chain combo with the 4 greens, but then he realized that the timing was now and he stopped it early and got that relatively clean kill on Giovanni.
Now, once again, we're tied. Both of our players are now in Giovanni, tied once again.
Yeah, and pretty much neck and neck, as KSS said earlier. Looks like Tayman is going to struggle to top off his opponent, but Cards actually threw out a lot of combo here, and only the first bottom 4 gets cleared off right now. Looks like Giovanni is struggling a little bit to get that clear, and wow, yeah. So there we go, Cards pulling ahead once again, and Tayman, I mean, the stack on what's called Giovanni's side, he's might run out of clear soon.
Oh, he might have time. He might have time.
Oh my goodness.
It's never good to see that.
Yeah, that was like the most long distance of clears that I could have seen, really. The fact that Giovanni committed to making the 4 combo first, and he does it again with the fires. It seems to like the fire is the element for him today. And Giovanni, oh, he's kind of messing up right now. Still has some clearing. Oh my goodness, yeah, that's a forced reset right there. And at the same time, if we look at Cards' side, like while we were looking at Tayman's struggles against Giovanni, Cards just blew past Richie real quick there.
Yeah, Cards is looking like he's figured out what his problems were, or maybe just RNG is now finally on his side because he is doing some very nice setups.
And we see Lorelei was making a lot of mistakes there. It looked like almost she was gonna die, but then she does get it clear on that top chain. But now that Cards has a little bit more of a breathing room in his lead because of the fact that he's up to 2 stages ahead now, maybe he's going to try to play this out some more. I'm not sure if he's going to be he's the type to watch his opponent or not, but it looks like he's going to reset that.
Wow, and sorry, I just saw Giovanni go up for that second tier, and then just changed his mind and decided not to go for it.
Yeah, this is exactly what happened to Tayman in the last in the last game as well. We saw Bruno go up to the top tier, set it up just like so it's a 1-click switch, and then he goes back down and keeps clearing there. Like it was nuts.
Man.
I would love to talk to the programmers in Japanese about this. Well, just kidding about the Japanese part, but I want to know where they are and like how they came up with all these decisions. You know, like when does the computer go up to the 2nd tier, so on and so forth.
Right, and we're seeing Tayman actually in the stream chatting saying, "Hey, Geo, stop time is a thing." I got to agree. Geo seems to.
He's been hacking, honestly.
Oh yeah, and unfortunately, Tayman took a loss there.
Yeah, the loss is always brutal. It's way worse than a reset, and I think that it was because Tayman was typing, because it looked to be like way too synchronized on my end, but maybe it's just a trick of the delay.
Yeah, maybe he typed because he had ended up losing.
That's true too. Yeah, And he gets the quick kill on him after all, though. So he is going to move up. It's still going to be that same two-stage difference from earlier in the match and from last match. Definitely not insurmountable, but the time is getting tight for now for Tayman to make that comeback.
Yeah, and we've seen the AI.
I think I lost you for a second. Hello? It sounded like Devolution Derby faded into the Matrix there on my end. I'm not sure if you guys can still hear him. Let me see if I... Yeah, I think...
Yeah, I can't hear him on my end either. He might have
Hello,
disconnected.
hello?
Yeah, okay, what's up, Devolution Derby? You
okay.
kind of faded into the ether there for a second. Like, it sounded like the Matrix got you.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had a little bit of a network hiccup here.
Oh, no worries. We're back at it, though. And we do see that Tayman killed Richie quite quickly. He's moving up, and he got a gold split on that as well. And meanwhile, Bruno has mad clears on his side and a second tier to work with for cards. So Cards probably waiting to see if he's going to clear that second tier of chains that he put on Bruno's side.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't manage to do that. That was a good wait on Cards. Good call by Cards there. But Tayman now is not far behind it. This might be a kill on Lorelei if she doesn't make it there in time, and she does. Oh my god. And we see, I can't hear what he's saying, but he definitely complained about it. And maybe we lost Devolution Derby again, but...
Oh no, I'm here. I'm a little desynced, so I'm trying.
Oh, yeah, my bad. 37, 38, 39,
Okay,
40.
got it.
All right. So my bad about that for the call out, but I forgot that you had to reset that. Anyway, so we see Cards is on Gary, but Gary does get the clear off on the chain and doesn't have the best of clearing services for the next chain, but definitely not something that Gary is... It's not something that Gary's guaranteed to struggle with, and he does get the 4 combo to clear. He has some fire set up. Greens are set up for the clear, and it looks like another difficult stage for Cards here. At the same time, though, Tayman is struggling a little bit with Lorelei, and it looks like Gary is going to go down on Cards' side. Cards is now moving on to the Mewtwo, and Tayman, it's still possible. I mean, Mewtwo has trolled very hard for very many people, from what I've noticed. So definitely still possible. It's gonna all come down to how Cards plays this out. We got the quick 4 there, and to another 4, and so many 4s, so many combos here. He's gonna go all out on this Mewtwo. And at the same time, though, Tayman did... Oh, Mewtwo clears it. The 4 combo was right there for him. And Tayman actually moving on to Bruno.
This is one of those things that's kind of painful to watch.
Yeah, that painful Mewtwo. And there's another 4 combo clear on Mewtwo's side. Mewtwo and got the reds on the optimal setup. So this could easily last a while, and we see Cards just zoom all the way to the top of the stack. You know, he's raising his stack mad high. He's gonna try to force kill the spit out of this Mewtwo.
I'm going to win.
Hey, can you give me another quick count real quick?
Yeah, sure. 28, 29, 30, 31,
Okay, got it.
32. Yep. So yeah, as FFR said, this is Tayman's opportunity really right now to strike. And actually, it looks like the Mewtwo was barely topped off on Cards' side, and there is a clear right there. Oh, but he went the long way, and Mewtwo goes down. There was a clear that was 1 click away, but he did not take it. The 4 combos later in the game, they create another opportunity for another quick kill. Like, you know, well, not a quick kill, but it's the same strat, you know?
Right.
Wow, so another win goes to Mewtwo King there, and I'm sorry, Mewtwo King. Cards of the Heart. Cards of the Heart, I'm so sorry.
Mewtwo does take a lot of wins in this game, but
yeah,
but not this time. Cards of the Heart taking his round 2-0 against Tayman. GG to him.
Yeah, Tayman, I mean, he kept it tight there for quite a few turns, and wow, we just saw a double switch right there. It's a double switch swag on Tayman's side, where you switch the block under and then you switch the block in, you know, like tuk, like one after the other. Very nicely done.
Yep.
So Tayman definitely showed a lot of improvement, showed a lot of skill throughout the series. And but at the end of the day, we have to say congratulations to Cards. Very nicely done.
Yeah, I was very excited to see the lead changes there during those matches. I knew Tayman would stand a chance there. He didn't come up.
Sounds like we lost Devolution Derby once again. I think he was gonna say that he had the opportunity to come back, Tayman did, but he didn't manage to close it out very well in those last rounds. And it looks like that seems to be the thing that's been plaguing Tayman throughout this series. It's been these last 3 or 4 stages that have been giving him the most trouble. If you look at his splits right now, we see that he got to Rocket at 1040, which isn't terrible. It's still passable. But then Giovanni at 1630. Wait, how did he get a Richie at 1633? Maybe he messed up the split there. But long story short, it's taken him about over 10 minutes on these last 5 stages from Tracy. So definitely something for Tayman to look into. In the meantime, though, Cards, maybe not. The first game was absolutely stellar from him. Second game, a little bit of a hiccup here and there. Definitely made it very interesting to watch. But in the end of the day, the master reigns supreme. So congratulations to Cards for that.
Yes, congratulations, Cards.
Okay, so I mean, we still got the stream up here, but I know that Forky likes to look at the, or at least talk about the bracket. Are we gonna wait for Tayman to finish this out, or are we gonna look at that bracket?
Yeah, we can
All
talk
right.
a little bit more about how Tayman's playing here.
True.
We see there that he had that 7 combo or that 2 chain, whichever it was, the same block. It was low enough to where Bruno didn't know what to do with it. So he ended up getting a kill there. It's a very unique looking kill there.
Mm-hmm. One thing I want to note about Tayman is that I don't know if he always plays like this, but I just noticed that right now it seems like he's doing a lot more comboing on the fly. Like his 4 into 4, the second 4, he started the first 4 before the other 4 was even close to being complete. So that definitely shows confidence in your mechanical ability, but it didn't pay off when the 4 into 4 chain ended quite abruptly because he didn't have a way to follow up. So I think he might be not looking enough steps ahead, as opposed to with Cards of the Heart, we see him, busting out combos premeditated in like the 5th or 6th portion of the chain. So something for Tayman to look into.
Yeah, definitely. And for anyone looking to improve in this game, recognizing patterns like that and definitely doing a lot more things on the fly, improving your speed, those are things that are gonna help you get a lot better at this game.
Yep. And looks like he is gonna go for all the way up to like a 7 chain here. It looks like he was waiting for Gary to finish his chain, but Gary gets an insane clear right there. Showing some like S-Heart style movement there for a second. But he is gonna fumble a little bit. He's gonna end up getting the clear on the side though. Tayman got to reset. Prop swap. I like that term from Do Not Put Me on Pizza.
Gary with the prop swap, I like it.
Sounds like it could be like made into a rap song almost, because like it just goes so well together. But we see Tayman, he's going to be building up another chain here. He's going to go up all the way up to a 7. He's going to cut it short, recognizing that Gary kind of stopped. But actually, Gary's going to keep going. And it's going to be a little bit upsetting. Yeah, Tayman waits again so he can double up on that chain. I think that Gary is definitely going to be force killed here. Yeah, very nicely done by Tayman timing. And if you look at Tayman's screen, he was actually really close to almost dying if that didn't work out, because he had only 2 fires remaining on the bottom.
Yeah, but no, he definitely recognized it, and he recognized Gary doing a lot of stuff and basically running out of blocks himself. So he waited until the perfect moment.
Yeah, it was definitely a calculated procedure. And now we're going to go into Mewtwo, and we need... Oh, he misses the switch in. That's like when you rely on swag for your runs like this, it's a double-edged sword almost. Because if you get it, but it still worked out. What? Another really quick Mewtwo, 18 seconds for Tayman there. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it wasn't even that much of a quick kill setup there, and Mewtwo, it looked like Mewtwo had so many options. He didn't know which one to do, and was just conflicted of which one he wanted to come at him for.
Yeah, it
No,
was.
that's another gold split for Mewtwo for Tayman here.
Absolutely nice. Very well done by both players here.
Absolutely.
Tayman throwing some sass in the chat with a little smiley face at the end to make sure we all knew that he's not going anywhere anytime soon. 'Cause honestly, I feel like he's one of the brightest prospects. I haven't even heard his name before this summer, and he's come out of nowhere, and he's performing really well, staying in the winners bracket this long, and performed very well against Cards today. They stayed neck and neck multiple times throughout this last race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So I guess maybe it's time to look at that bracket now. I think maybe. I don't have the stream up, so I don't know what Forky's doing. Maybe Forky can give us a little bit of a cue on that. All right, so yeah, let's look at this bracket. So Tayman just lost to Cards of the Heart. He's going to be going into the losers bracket. Meanwhile, Cards of the Heart is going to be facing number 5 seed Flagelstan in the winners semifinals of S Hard on S Hard, and this is going to be a good match. I feel like Flagelstan definitely a S Hard specialist in my opinion.
And
And
Flagelstan's been putting in a lot of work into S Hard.
I mean, he has a sub 20 PB, I believe, right? So that means that he can definitely take Cards of the Heart. He can definitely pressure him at his best. So this can be a really hype match, in my opinion. On the other side of the winners semifinals, we have Forky and FFR Pro. Another amazing match. Just looking at the seed numbers, seed 2 versus seed 3, I feel like those are well-deserved seeds. Both players very, very strong at puzzle, and FFR Pro, some of the quickest fingers in the business. Forky with the infamous Forky strats. That's going to be another really nice match to watch. But at the same time, sorry, go ahead.
I will say that this, the way that this bracket looks right now is very reminiscent of the Tetris Attack tournament that we had last year, where BB Forky and FFR Pro were actually in the final 2 in the tournament. So this will be maybe a little bit of a redemption, maybe a little bit of solidifying that skill level. So it'll be definitely the match to see.
Maybe a little bit of a grudge match, so to speak. Yeah, so definitely these will be... I'm sure that Forky will update you guys through Twitter and through Discord about when these matches are going to happen, when they're scheduled. But these are definitely some really hype matches to look forward to. And let's look at the losers bracket while we're at, because that's where Tayman has made his residence after facing the infamous Cards. He's going to be facing Shadow in the V-Hard match. Best of 3. Shadow been playing for quite some time. I feel like he learned the strats last year around this time, and since then his times have been rapidly improving. And he's branched out into plenty of other games, but he's still definitely competitive at this game. It's going to be an interesting match to watch.
Yeah, all of these matches here in the main bracket are going to be from this point on, I think, are going to be very, very good to watch. Some veterans in this game, some very high skilled players in both brackets. We're going to see some very good puzzle action.
Absolutely. I mean, Lightning versus Yume is one that I'm really looking forward to. Both players are very good. I feel like kind of similar in skill. Like I feel like that's going to be really tight. I don't know much about Panban Richard, but Nicole being in the losers bracket is, nuts, because she also has a really nice time in S Hard and V Hard. I'm not sure about her V Hard and S Hard as well. So as you said, lots of tight matches coming up. These games are getting tighter and tighter. And I mean, Tayman versus Cards of the Heart, very tight for a lot of both games. So anything can happen.
I'm happy that I made it competitive.
Oh, what's up, Tayman?
And here we got Tayman joining us.
I'm stealthing into your chat. I have admin privileges now.
Oh no! Oh no! He's gonna go and change the bracket now too. He's gonna put Cards of the Heart down there. He's gonna rewrite history.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm not gonna give myself that much power. It's dangerous.
So Tayman, tell me, how did you feel about your matches today?
I feel pretty good because I was executing Yeah, I mean, I kept neck and neck through like Giovanni, and then I think that's fine. And I made runs when I had to, when Cards was getting walled. Unfortunately, I got a little flustered and just was going for the first thing I saw towards the end without really looking ahead as much as I should have. And that's something I have to work on, because that's been like my play style for the longest time, just playing it casually. Like going for something and then just hoping the blocks are in place when I swap.
Yeah, I actually mentioned that, especially towards the end. It seemed like earlier in the series you were definitely it seemed like you had more of a premeditation going on, but towards the end I definitely noticed, you made a 4 combo into scramble, maybe make a mistake, save it. It looked like you were you were caught up in the moment, caught up in the pace of the trying to get there as fast as possible, and as a result your vision a little bit maybe got blurry.
Yeah, and I'm gonna move on to the rest of the tournament. I'm gonna try to keep that in mind.
Well, you're definitely a fierce competitor for anyone in the losers bracket to face. Definitely prayers out to Shadow for to face you after this kind of showing. So
I'm going on a rampage through losers bracket. I hope everyone knows that.
Oh no! All right, all right. I mean, I'm there. I'll see you there then. All right. So you better
Oh
bring
shit,
your
that's
A
Chain. Where's Chain at?
if you win and I win, we face each other. So.
All right. Well, I look forward to it. I like racing against you.
I might be one of the only people saltier than you. I think that's what it is.
Is it genuine salt though?
I mean, yeah.
I have a nice whimsical salt.
True. Anyway, enough about our bromance. Let's anything Forky, maybe Devilish and Derby want to say about this bracket, about what's coming up next, or anything you guys want to ask Tayman? Now we have the man, the myth, the legend himself here.
In training.
In training, yeah.
Forky, go ahead.
I guess just a little bit before we do close out, very impressed with what you're doing, Tay, and you've shown that you've adjusted pretty quickly in just the small amount of time you've been in the community. So I'm looking forward to what you can do in losers bracket, and I'm sure you'll do the same and give us some entertaining matches.
Well, thank you. I'm really glad to have joined the community this past summer, and it's really made me want to play the game more, because hobbies aren't really worth as much without people to share them with.
Oh, that's such a wholesome note to end on. I think I definitely agree with you. I mean, this community has been absolutely great, very positive for anyone who's been joining. So I'm gonna, in case anyone is not aware of it, I'm gonna pop an invite to the stream right now for anyone who's interested in joining Puzzle General.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have more casual races when the tournament's over. It seems like our attention's been dominated by the tournament so far.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of an undercurrent when I do practice races, like with you. Like I feel like I'm like, damn. So if I meet him in tournament, this is what's gonna happen. Like I feel like it's there's a little bit of a pressure there to perform well, even in the practice runs.
Yeah, I mean, I still have fun, but there is the competitive edge, like you said, and I think the tournament's fun, but it'll also be fun when it goes back to being 100% casual.
All right.
I guess one cool thing to note, though, that's going to be this coming week, we're going to have some delays, like with some winners brackets, especially for both Redemption and Main. But it could be potentially the only week of the tournament where we're going to see hard, very hard, and super hard on display, because depending where you are at in each bracket, we're going to be playing all 3 difficulties. So there's going to be a lot of strategies being employed next week.
That's very cool. You get your menagerie, your potpourri, like the little tray with the different hors d'oeuvres. You get to pick, I want one V-hard series here, one super hard series here, and we can sprinkle some V-hards over there. So definitely a lot of options for a lot of people looking to improve.
All right, I guess that's about it for us. We have one match scheduled this week, but